with another episode, and we are here, just me and Tash today. The fourth, she calls herself the fourth member of Through a Different Lens podcast, so we're gonna let her have it. But yeah, we're back today to discuss a few things NBA related, probably reacting to some stuff more than anything. But first off, Tash, how are you?
I'm good, good. Not at work all week, annual leave, so I'm just chilling. I've been catching up on sports. So I've got a lot to say today.
I'm glad because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. So wait, annual leave? How long? How long for?
Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm back Wednesday.
Oh, like a long weekend. Why you should have just
Mm,
left the country?
I mean, well, yeah, don't know where to go, so and plus I've got like other plans, further down in the month. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna chill. So
Oh, makes
yeah,
sense. Makes sense. Can catch up with
yeah.
the well, MBAs and all that sort of
hmm
stuff. But yes, that is what we're here to talk about. So let us actually just kick it off. Did you watch All Star Weekend?
I sure did. Unfortunately.
Uh, Obviously, the format's changed, and obviously they've made a lot of changes to what we're used to. I want to hear your thoughts on like what the changes meant to you and what kind of you felt like it felt.
I mean, okay, so let's start with Saturday. Can we start with Saturday?
Yeah, yeah. We'll go through the days.
Saturday, yeah. So I mean, Friday, I didn't even watch it. I mean, I didn't even know what was happening on the Friday. So God only knows what happened on the Friday. But on the Saturday, obviously, is the skills challenge, the 3-point contest, and the dunk contest.
Mm.
And obviously, we were expecting Steph and Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sabrina to do, what they did last year, which was really, really, really good. But unfortunately, they didn't, do what they needed to do. So obviously, it was just down to the 3-point contest, the skill challenge, and the dunk contest. Um, the whole day, I mean, the night, it just felt like it was a variety show, basically. Kevin Hart, they were dressed up in God knows what. They had props and they had content creators. It was just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
It was a complete mess to me. Um, so let's just start with the skills challenge. Wemby and Chris Paul, like what the hell were they thinking? And you know what? I kind of like blame Chris Paul. Like, you know how he is and tries to, use his tactics to, win the
I,
game and do whatever.
my thing is with that
Okay,
though.
go on.
My thing is with that though. I do respect it though. I'm
No.
not gonna I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't respect it. But do you know why I respect it? Because it's an element of winning. They wanted to win, and they basically asked all the people, "Can you do this?" So if you can do this and manipulate the rules, I know it's showing up All Star Weekend to an extent, but at the end of the day, hey, we're winners, aren't we? We want to come in here to win this. If we're going to come here, we're not here to play mess around. If they just threw one shot at the rim and then threw them off the rack, they would have won the same way.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I completely understand. But Wemby, he was shocked, and then Chris Paul was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was nothing.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, the skills challenge to me has never been something that I kind of enjoyed anyway, so I wasn't really bothered about it. But obviously, the highlight was, Wemby and Chris Paul, cheating or being
Yeah.
disqualified.
It was
Uh,
good one year though. It was good one year.
yeah,
When they
yeah,
did the big men versus the guards and Cat won it.
mm,
That year it was good.
yeah.
That was the
What
one
year
year
was
when it was
that?
good.
Because that
I
I think that was a good year, for the All Star game.
Yeah. When the skills challenge is good, you kind of know everything's gonna be good from there. But yeah, no.
Pretty much, pretty
Hmm.
much. So I kind of fizzed off of that one. Then the 3-point contest. I mean, I was expecting Dame to show out. I do
Mm.
not know what happened. I was expecting him to, win again. And Tyler Hero, like, I know he can obviously shoot threes. I know what he does and whatever, but I was just expecting Dame to do what Dame does, and he just fell short. So I was kind of surprised of Tyler Hero. winning, but the rest of them were just garbage. Cam
Wait, Buddy
Johnson,
Hield was all right.
ah,
Buddy Hield was all right.
yeah, Buddy Hill, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Buddy Hield was good.
Cam Johnson, I mean, come on, um, garbage. Who else was there that was garbage? It was just like, are you even touching the rim? Like it was. Sometimes I was like, what am I actually watching? It wasn't as fun as what it was like last year and the previous years. I just don't know
Mm,
what it was. But yeah, I was kind of like disappointed in like Dame not winning at all.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then the dunk contest was just garbage. I
Well,
mean,
we expect that from the dunk contest right now, though. It's like no
yeah,
superstars are dunking. There's no element of. It's difficult though. What I see a lot of people getting at the dunk contest all the time, but I sit there and go, how creative do you want someone to be after everything's been done? Like
literally.
we've seen everyone and we've now seen everything. Like there's only amount of times you can do spins in the air and put it through your legs and this and use a car
Mhm.
and like we've seen every single dunk. Like back in the day, we didn't see every dunk because social media wasn't here. But now you have professional dunkers, so you see a
Mhm.
dunk and then you're like, oh well, the NBA players doing the same thing or can't do that, so it's not as impressive. So you
Yeah,
sit there and you go, this is kind of it's mediocre and there's no element of the superstars being involved which
no.
used to bring in some like fascination,
I
so that's
mean,
where
yeah. I mean, I didn't even know I mean, I knew like one or two players were, but like I still don't even know who won and what's his name. Like,
Mac McClung,
yeah, that guy. Um,
he's
but
a three-time dunk contest winner
I
now.
know, but like it doesn't. His name doesn't stand out. I don't see his name running
He's not in the
about in
league,
the
he's in the
league. He
G
doesn't
League.
play. Like he's in the
Mhm.
G League. Yes, I get that. I understand. And sometimes you do remember names in the G League. No disrespect, but he only pops up when it's the dunk contest. Um,
That's
and then and then what really annoyed me, like after the game or whatever, the Saturday, then you had Ja Morant on Twitter. I don't know if you're on Twitter. Ja
mm,
Morant, Zach Levine, and Aaron Gordon and Giannis saying that we all need to do the dunk. Do you know? I was like, you know what? Shut up. You know it's not gonna happen. So why are you even chatting?
yeah, it's true because we've seen this
Annoying.
before. Everyone
Mm,
says they're going to do it the year before, then it comes to next year and there's no entries and we're seeing the same foolishness that we saw before. I want to just go back to the 3-point contest quickly because what it showed me is the NBA shouldn't be how it is. There should not be this many people shooting threes anymore. That's what it showed me. Because if this is what the league is showing me as the best 3-point shooters, yeah, everyone needs to go back to the inside game and start doing twos and this sort of stuff. The league has gone out of control with 3-point shooting. There's not enough good 3-point shooters for you guys to be out there shooting 3-pointers. Because what I saw you put up in the 3-point contest, I know it's different than in game, but if you can't shoot set shots, I don't want to see your ass out there on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights shooting threes behind the 3-point line. Go inside the arc and shoot
yeah,
twos because you're wasting everyone's time. That's what it
yeah,
taught me. The NBA has got away from its roots in terms of like shooting from inside out. I know we see Steph Curry and that's one of my favorite players and the way he plays the game, but he has learned his shot from inside out. And Steph Curry is an anomaly among everyone else. Just because
hmm,
one is doing it does not mean everyone else should do it.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what the 3-point contest showed me. I was like, bro, there's not enough good 3-point shooters for this league to be putting up 63 pointers a game per
mm,
team. You get what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's what that showed me.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah, go
going
on.
forward, I don't know how they're gonna like the Saturday, I mean, just the All-Star game in particular, but the 3-point contest, the Jalen Bronson, like, why was he in, why was he even there? Like, yeah, some people were just not meant to, and I just don't understand why Steph didn't do it either.
Why
Like,
didn't
I
do the
didn't,
3-point contest?
yeah, why he didn't do the 3-point contest, like,
He's done that. He's done it. You
yeah, but
can't have
so what?
you can't ask Steph, LeBron, and KD to save the league every like the people need to start stepping up and doing their thing. Like we can't be asking the same three people to save the NBA every year. Like Steph is not All Star Weekend. At the end of the day, like you put players there that are all stars. Someone else needs to take the reins because these men are going to be gone soon, and we're preparing for that now. And
Yeah,
the preparation for it and how it's looking is looking very bad. So we need to start livening up and getting someone in there that's better.
true. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of viewership, if, the NBA wants to get the views up, then Steph is the face of the league. So I'm wanting him to do the 3-point contest because he is the face. And plus, like, it was his idea for that stupid format, anyways.
So let's get to the actual format of the actual game.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had Rising Stars versus the OGs, and we had the global team versus the younger kind of superstars in the NBA. Um, what are your thoughts? So, what didn't you like about it, and what did you like about it?
The Rising Stars did not need to be there. I'm sorry.
Okay.
For me, growing up, when I was watching the All Star games, I was watching my favorite players,
Hmm.
from Kobe to LeBron to Tim Duncan to, like
Hmm.
you earned that spot,
Yep.
throughout the season to be there. And I just felt like the Rising Stars did not earn that spot to be playing on a Sunday, in my
Right.
opinion. And I understand the league why they did it. And, probably they just needed a fresh anointing. I don't know, for the Sunday, for the viewerships to go up. But I just didn't appreciate them being there. And it needs to go back to the proper format. What it used to be like was East versus West. And just keep it as that. It's just too much. It's just too much and I don't like it. Yeah, the Sunday was just garbage. Like you're playing up to what, 40 points or something like that?
Yeah, that was
And then
my
they had the whole big gap in between where you're just standing
variety
around.
variety
Yeah,
show.
no.
Yeah, that was my whole big gripe about it. Is it was like we're playing to 40 points. That's too short because in NBA games, 40 points can be quick. Especially these
Absolutely.
guys, they're superstars. You can get 40 points in 6-7 minutes if they need to. Um, and the one thing I did like is the competitiveness. So there was some form of competitiveness in the Rising Stars and the OGs because you could see the OGs didn't want to lose to the Rising Stars. So you
Oh
could
yeah.
you saw defense being played. You saw
Yeah.
it was better than I've seen in the past.
Mm.
And then obviously the Euros or the global players came out to play because they're like, okay, cool, we want to play the OGs because we're really taking over the league next. So they
Mm-hmm.
came out to play, but obviously in the final we just saw what experience in the NBA does and
Mm-hmm.
the people that care enough. So that was my main fault with the game. I didn't like it to be into 40 points. I didn't mind the Rising Stars being there this year just because it added a competitive nature. But in future, I feel like they should do like an all snub team if they're going to keep this format. Like do an all snub team, make it 28 players as all stars instead of 24, so we can have 4 teams of seven. Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
And I feel like we should go that way if we're going to keep the same format. I don't want us to keep this format though. I want us to go back to East versus West.
Yep.
No picking the team, just East versus West. Put something
Mm-hmm.
on the line for it, and let's play competitively. In fact, don't put anything on the line. Just play competitive. Like just play competitive basketball. It's not difficult,
Yeah, and I think what other guys, the players are doing is they're trying to save their bodies for playoffs.
right? But what's one game
You tell
competitively?
me.
No, but what's
You
one game going to do?
me. You tell me. You tell me. I just don't understand it, and it's either that they just scrap the whole thing and do like what the NFL did with the Pro Bowl. Is it the Pro Bowl?
Yeah,
Was
the
it the
Pro
Pro Bowl?
Bowl. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they just got rid of it, but then
They ain't
I
got
just
rid
don't
of it
know.
really. They haven't got rid of it. They just changed it to
Really?
touch.
Okay.
It's flag football now. They basically have
Okay.
got rid of it. It's just nonsense now.
Yeah. But I personally don't know how they could save this, the All-Star game. I don't know how they could. I mean, I did hear or well, see on Twitter that they might put money, like if players like play or compete, they give them like, I don't know, I think it was like 300,000 or something like that. But
To who?
I mean,
Their
the
pockets,
players,
or
their
they're gonna give
pockets.
300 grand to the players that
Yeah.
make 50 plus million a year because all stars are all basically
What's that?
superstars.
Yeah,
Like
basically, what's that?
So you're gonna give 300 grand to a man that's making £1 million a week
Mm,
or
yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it could be more that I saw, but I'm just probably miscounting the number.
No, but
But
still,
you know,
no incentive that's gonna get.
I did see some monetary, value towards the players
But there's no
to
incentive that's gonna get them. There's no incentive that's gonna get a millionaire or a person that's worth 100 million, unless you're giving them $1 billion. Oh yeah, they might be competitive then. But
yeah,
what you're gonna give someone that's worth 500 mil, 300 grand? Okay, you want me
yeah.
to be? LeBron gonna look at them and say, "Huh, okay,
I mean,
thanks.
I
I can
mean,
make that
yeah,
tomorrow."
yeah, therefore. But speaking of LeBron, can we just touch on LeBron and how he showed up? Showed up late. One,
Mm,
two. Didn't even put on the uniform.
mm,
And he wasn't playing. What's your
right.
thoughts on that?
I think he has the right to do it.
Okay.
I think like if there's a player that has the right to do it, it's him. He also did say in his press conference that he wanted to play the game and he waited till Sunday morning to make the decision because he was like feeling his he's this is I'm using his words. He told us he waited till Sunday morning to see if he was fit to then go and play the game. Yeah. That's all he did. Like
I
what
heard
did
through
you
the grapevine that I heard through the grapevine because
mm,
I've got some little sources
right.
that he knew from Friday.
So he knew from Friday.
Mm.
So you want him to? So okay, LeBron tells him on Friday, "I'm not playing." What do you want, NBA players that are on holiday because they're all on holiday right now to do?
You don't know. You don't know.
What do you?
Norman Powell. You don't. You We do not know if they are on holiday. We do not
Majority
know.
of them are on holiday right now.
Majority of them are. But they could have, or Adam Silver could have, rang up Norman Powell, be like, yo, you need to come to Osaka because LeBron ain't playing. He would have been there because that would have been his first time playing in the All-Star game. He would have been
Understood.
there.
Understood, but it's LeBron James at the end of the day. You're giving the benefit of the doubt. If he tells you on Friday, you're thinking, oh, no, it's LeBron. He's an Iron Man. He might play on Sunday. Like, my only thing was, okay, cool. Put on the kit and take the picture. That's it.
Mm,
Put on the kit and take the picture. But
period.
there were so many, man. So, okay, if we're doing a thing with LeBron, why did Ant not play? Yes, crickets.
Wait. Hold up. I'm trying to figure out when did he say on the day that he wasn't playing?
We didn't know until he wasn't on the court that he wasn't playing.
Because I don't remember that until when I didn't see him, but there wasn't any like news out to say Ant was I don't know. Maybe I saw it, but I was more focused on LeBron because I felt like LeBron could have put on the uniform. LeBron is the face of the NBA, and I totally agree that LeBron could do whatever he wants, but at least take the picture in the uniform. Do you know what I mean? Same
That
with
was my
Ant.
gripe.
He could
Yeah,
have put on the uniform. He could have put on the uniform and take the picture. It just looked out of place and just yeah, I just didn't I wasn't feeling it. But I personally felt like he knew I felt like he knew that he wasn't going to play, or he was kind of like taking a stance to say, I'm not playing against these young rising star players. One of the two. Obviously, we don't know, but that's how I just feel, how I feel.
so that's how you taken it. You taken
Yeah.
LeBron's stance as he just didn't want to play against the young
Mhm.
boys. They're disrespect.
Yeah.
So I'm going to disrespect All Star Weekend because they've disrespected All Star Weekend. The NBA have.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
I don't. No, I don't. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinions. I just don't put LeBron in that category where I'm thinking that he's going to do something of that nature. You get what I mean? I'm just like,
Yeah, but you're
it's LeBron
flying.
James.
Yeah, but you're flying, your ankles, you say your ankles swollen, whatever. You're up in the air. Your
Mm,
ankles are gonna get swollen even more.
yeah,
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I
That's
get
all.
you. I get you. He played last night.
Yeah,
He
we
played
we
last
all
night.
we all knew he would have played last night.
Yeah, but this is the thing. He was resting himself because sometimes extra 2 days help.
But that's what I'm saying. I think he knew that he was not playing.
Look, look.
You know what? We're gonna agree to disagree.
Yeah,
I
that's what we're gonna do.
feel
That's what
that
we're gonna
he
do.
knew what he were doing. Me personally, I just yeah.
Okay, it is
I
what it is.
obviously I love LeBron. But I what he did on Sunday, I wasn't feeling it.
So you just wanted you wanted to tell them earlier so they could replace LeBron James. As I said earlier on, the NBA is relying on LeBron, Steph, and Kevin Durant to save them in every situation. So
True,
when those three don't save them, we got what we got on Sunday. So
true.
it's now a learning curve to understand they're not going to be in the NBA for much longer. Start trying and figuring out what you're going to do post these three players.
Mm,
And that's what LeBron. If LeBron did that, it makes sense. He said, "Look, figure it out." The Lakers are figuring it out. They're figuring out. Okay, LeBron's not going to be here. We got Luca. Yeah.
mm,
The
yeah.
Suns, they look like they're about to trade KD at the end of the season. So
Who will?
they're figuring it
Who
out
will?
too. Everyone
Yeah,
else, and the Warriors are just that's my team, but we're just doing madness. So hey, we do what we do. We love Steph. Steph's going to be here for as long as he wants to be here. So
yeah.
but we're not preparing for the end. We're just gonna the end's gonna hit us, and we're gonna go back to what we were 15 years ago.
Mm,
A bad problem. So yeah, that's kind of. But yeah, my so conclusion to the NBA All Star Weekend: stop relying on your superstars, Steph, LeBron, KD, to save
yeah,
you,
yeah,
because they're not gonna be here for much longer. The
yeah,
format in general, I liked some
yeah,
of it. I didn't like other parts.
yeah. And the younger players or the the what the face of the league, you know,
Discussion.
yeah, discussion or players that they think that are going to be the face of the league, like Wemby and
Mm,
I mean, at one point it was Zion, it was Ja, like they all and Tatum, they all
yeah.
need to step up in my opinion. Like participate in the skills challenge or the dunk contest. Like when Kobe first came into the league, that's what he did. He
Mm,
participated in the dunk contest. What I didn't like, what LeBron didn't do, is that he only played in the Sunday games. He never participated in none of the skill challenge or the dunk contest or the 3-point contest. He just, bypassed all of them. But, Dame's done everything. Steph has pretty much done everything. And I think, the players need to be more engaging in the All-Star game because, like you said, it's on a dying hill.
it is.
And
It is.
yeah, and LeBron and KD are not going to be around for much longer, so the NBA is definitely in trouble.
Mm. It's
Yeah,
it is what it is, but hey, well we'll see in a few years what they do, and hopefully they make some adjustments to make it better.
yeah.
But moving swiftly on,
Mhm.
Court of Gold.
Yeah.
Court of Gold came out. A special series that obviously covered the Olympics men's basketball tournament from all the teams that were in there. Produced by Barack Obama, which is very interesting, and his wife Michelle
Ah,
with other
that is
production teams.
actually on my notes.
with other teams, which was very interesting to see. This is what we're actually here to talk about today, but
Mhm.
NBA. So, Court of Gold. Should we go episode by episode, or should we go? How should we react to this, or do you want to just discuss the whole thing in general?
Just I don't know. Go. I mean, it kind of all tied into one for me. I don't know
Yeah,
how about you. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it was like one big like movie. Although it was like 6 episodes, I do feel like the episodes were a bit short, in my opinion, and I was able to just like binge watch it all. Um,
mm,
so that's why for me it just all ties into one. So
yeah.
however you want to like go into it,
No,
like
we'll,
I
we'll go all. We'll go all in one.
yeah.
It makes more sense. Yeah, let's go all in one.
So where do you want to start? Because like I said to you, I've made a list of
We'll go.
things that kind of like stood out for me.
Okay. Yeah, go
Um,
go for let's go through your list and go through the things that stood out for you. Let's start at the start, but let's go through the things that stood out for you mainly.
Obviously I have to start off with Kevin Durant.
Mm.
Kevin Durant being a four-time Olympian, all-time leading scorer for the
Mm.
Olympics.
Yep.
Like that is an achievement in itself. Like
Hmm.
the guy is gutted. So
Yeah.
I just had to, start off with my guy first,
Yeah, I
always.
already know. Yes, 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 yes.
And then I just put the OGs, LeBron and Steph, like they are seriously the OGs, and I don't think if they all played in the Olympics this year, I don't think that they would have like won goal in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Just
I'm in full agreement.
yeah. Um, I have some theories about Jason Tatum not playing minutes.
Okay, okay, okay.
But looking at the games, I just felt like Steph, KD, Embiid, LeBron, and Bam,
Mm,
they were strong enough for who they were playing against.
I
And
feel like we're
I'm not
missing someone.
who were
Devin
missing.
Booker. Devin Booker.
Yeah, Devin Booker played.
Because Devin
Uh,
Booker was an unsung hero that didn't get spoken about enough in the
yeah,
documentary, and that's one thing I wanted to
yeah,
talk about.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, Jason Tatum not having minutes, I kind of understand just looking
Mm,
from the document and um how strong the teams were.
hmm
Um, but yeah, that's all I put. And then Anthony Edwards just being Anthony Edwards and how he would just like talking to Barack Obama. Like I think KD and LeBron was like a bit puzzled, like how, you know,
Yeah,
how he
yeah,
was coming
definitely.
across.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and like the bromance between and KD is
mm,
quite interesting, you know. But
yeah,
it's beautiful to see like a younger player because he's only 23 years old, like
yep.
looking up to someone that he's watched on the TV screen and now he's playing against. Like you never ever some people never ever get to do that. So
No.
it was just like beautiful to watch. Um and then Steve Kerr like telling Ant like things that he needs to improve, which I thought was really, really good of him to let him know, like
Mm,
rebounding and you know, taking further steps to like use his body more in the game.
yeah.
That was a good point that I quite liked about that. Um and then the dream team in 1988 lost to Serbia, the Serbian team, which I forgot about that. But I forgot who was actually on the dream team then. I don't know if Michael Jordan was. No, he wasn't on
Nah,
it.
that wasn't. So they weren't. So the team that lost before they went to Barcelona was obviously the team that they weren't taking professionals. So what they were doing is they were taking college kids still. So they're taking the college kids because they were like, the Olympics is actually amateur sports. Do you get what I mean?
Mm,
Not amateur sports, but it's non-professional sports competition.
yeah.
So the what they were doing was taking like college students, and they were winning sometimes, losing sometimes, but it wasn't a serious thing until they realized that the Europeans and globally everyone was using their pro players, and I said, wait, it's getting out of hand. So we're going to now
Mm,
take our pro players, and we're going
mm,
to pick the best team, obviously, and then that's kind of continued from that point onwards with the Dream Team, the Redeem Team, and now the Avengers. Do you get what I mean? Which is very interesting in terms of how they've done things in the US and wanting to solidify themselves as the top dog in sports, which now the main thing that I took away from like the whole documentary is the world is really catching up.
mm-hmm.
Like the world is catching up, if not have caught up,
Yep.
because when we look at the NBA for what it is, the best players in the NBA are they're not the Americans. Like if you look at the top three players, however you want to put it, Jokic, Giannis, Luka, like in my opinion, those would be the top three players. None of them are from born and raised in the US.
Yep.
And then you've got Wemby, the next one coming up,
Mm-hmm.
French. Like you got superstars, global superstars, and your best players are not coming from your country anymore. And you can see what it took for them in the Serbia game specifically to beat them. It took KD, LeBron, and Steph being them, the best of
Yep.
themselves in moments to win those games. Whereas in the past, it's been okay, cool, we can send anyone. But they learned from the World Cup the year before when they did just send not anyone, but younger superstars, the Jaden Brunsons of the world. Tyrese Halliburton was there. They sent those younger superstars, and what we didn't even we didn't even medal. I say we, we're not even American, but the Americans did not medal in the World Cup the year before,
Mm,
so they made a stance to go out and change things. But now you see the Euros and the global teams just coming and crushing. So that's one of the main things I took away from the documentary. But yeah, going back to your Steve Kerr point, because I wanted to talk on him. Um, he was
yeah.
very, as the head coach for the Warriors, I see a lot of things, but it was good to see him on that level and like the respect he has for the players and the respect they have for him in his position, because he's actually been great in every role he's had in the NBA, whether when that was playing, being a GM at Phoenix, being the head coach of the Warriors, being the head coach of the USA team. Like he has been great in every single role he's been in, even as a broadcaster. Like he is one of them people that are just special in all the roles he put up, and I feel like he's very, very disrespected because of the things that happened with the KD trade and
Yeah.
letting Draymond get away with a lot of things, and the way the Warriors organization kind of dwindled. But if we realize he's won 4 NBA championships with this organization, do you get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And we've won it with superstars. We've always had Steph, the main superstar, but we won it with a overloaded team, and we've won it with a team that not no one thought we were going to do it with. So Steve
Yeah.
Kerr, I took a lot from took a lot away from this documentary of his leadership and like the way he coaches. And KD
The
even
way,
said it like,
the way he even grew up as well.
yes, it was a lot different, a lot
Mm,
different. Like he had
mm,
the European, like he traveled a lot, and his, if you know, but like, I've watched documentaries about Steve Kerr and I've read up about him. To be fair,
mm,
the way his dad passed away was similar to the way obviously Michael Jordan's dad passed away. So
mm.
he has like a similar story to that kind of thing, which is very, very interesting. But even Kevin Durant said it like people always say, "Oh, KD's and Steve Kerr's relationship was the reason he left," and then KD said, "He's the coach that
That gets
knows
him.
me." Yeah, that knows me more than anyone else. Like he's
Mm,
the one that let me be me. He spoke to me about my life. And I feel
mm-hmm,
like when you play the game and then you become a coach, you can relate to players a lot easier,
mm-hmm. Absolutely.
especially especially as he's played with the greatest of all time. He played with
Mm-hmm,
Michael Jordan. So to relate
mm-hmm.
to these players is a lot probably easier for him than anyone else,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
which was a very interesting perspective. But yeah, go
Yeah.
on.
Um, it was just really good, interesting to see or remembering that MJ, Charles Barkley, and Bird and Pippen were all on the same team. That
Mm,
to me was just sick. Going back to what you said that they won bronze in like 2004. I think
yes. Wade.
Lamar Odom, Wade was on that team.
Was LeBron not on that team?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
No, he
no.
wasn't.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was.
Oh,
No, I don't think he
maybe.
was.
Maybe gone. That was in Athens, right?
I
In Athens?
think
Yeah,
so.
2004 was in Athens, yeah.
That yeah, I think so. And then obviously going into like the spotlight being on KD a bit more, like talking about the game and obviously him getting emotional about like what the game means to him and
Mm,
obviously it brought him out of like a lot of situations for him and his family, but also just realizing that that's a lot of everyone's the players situations too, do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But for him, for me to, I mean, obviously I love KD, and there's a lot of people that just don't like KD for what reasons. Obviously, we know because he went to the Warriors why people don't like him. But just seeing that, I hope that people will understand like why KD is the way that he is. Like
Mm,
he eats and breathes basketball, and he
mm,
appreciates the game. And
yeah.
then when you like put the TV on and you listen to Stephen A or like Kendrick Perkins, like it just goes to show like that these documentaries are so important for the fans to see rather than watching TV, because it gives that these documentaries gives the fans a better perspective of what the game is like and how
Mm,
the game has affected their lives. So
yes.
that was really like beautiful and emotional to see. But I mean, I've seen
Yeah,
KD cry
that
a
was
lot.
one of my favorite moments of the documentary. Just seeing because me as a sportsman myself, I understand what sports mean to us as people. Do you get what I mean?
Mm,
And as players of the sport, and to see all that someone puts into it, like sometimes the only way you can get out of it is to cry. Like the only emotion
mm,
that you feel from it is to cry.
yeah,
With everything you were saying, it's like it means so much. And I've had the
yeah,
same thing when I'm talking about football sometimes. I'm not talking about, but I've had like moments when I've cried in my career because I know it means so much. It's got you away from so
mm,
many different things. You don't know what is out there other than that. And you could see the emotion and just talking about it. And I felt it myself. I was like, bro, I can resonate with that. I can feel everything
mm,
you're saying. And it was so interesting to see like just someone that worked so hard at their craft. It was inspiring to me as well. It's like, bro, you can see what you have to put in to get to the level these people are at,
yeah,
and what it actually takes out of them as a person. And I
mm-hmm,
don't think people understand it takes a lot out of people as people to be that great and to focus
yeah,
on one thing. Because I'll be honest with you, doing one thing that consistently is boring. It's
mm,
boring. Like doing one
mm,
thing over and over and over and over and over again gets so boring. And he's done it to the point where, it's unbelievable. He's one of the greatest players we've ever seen. So you could do it. You can do
literally,
it for a steady period. But look, he's what, nearly 20 years in,
yeah,
doing what he's doing.
yeah,
Was laughed at the draft was laughed at the draft because he couldn't at the combine because he couldn't lift weights. But you can just see
yeah,
what hard work and skill and talent, and I even love what his mum said about she didn't know what she was doing as a teenage mum, but she
mm,
said, "Oh, if the coach said to do 50, well, nah, I'm gonna go sit in my car and you're gonna go do 150 more because
mm,
that was just her thing. She's just thinking from a perspective of you. Surely you got to do more than that. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
So I love the fact that, and you can see the relationship with his mum throughout the whole NBA. Kind
Oh
of
yeah,
we've seen that,
mm,
but yeah,
beautiful,
that
absolutely beautiful.
showing KD as
Yeah.
a real person, and you can see he's very misunderstood in the media because no one knows him, and we kind of got to see a real side of him. But
Mm-hmm.
if you watch his interviews and that sort of stuff, you get to see the real side of KD. So the media personalities, it's just everything's a clickbait thing for them, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it also made me wonder, like, because obviously they keep asking him, or in like the Malika interview, I don't know if you've seen that, like when, she asked him like, when will you retire? And I feel like it would be very hard for KD to retire
I mean,
because
yes, I
he
want to talk
loves
about this.
the
You go.
game so much.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I mean, I have thoughts of that he would actually buy an NBA team at some point in his life, but I think it would be so hard for him to just break his self away from the game.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
seeing a lot of people saying that they're scared for him when he retires
Mm,
because it's like detachment. It's the attachment issue to the game. It is him. It's his life. So what do
mm-hmm.
you do outside of the game? Although he has loads going on, what do you do outside of this to kind of get
Yeah.
you to a place where you feel fulfilled? Because nothing's going to fulfill you like the game of basketball has. So
Yeah.
what's your next step? And
Mm,
that's why people like they can see him mentally going somewhere different because he doesn't have the game to bring him together as one, which is
mm.
really an interesting perspective. But I don't even know if I see him owning a team. I just see the
I
man
do.
like, nah. Do you know why? Because owning a team takes too much. He loves the process
He
of
owns his.
basketball.
Yeah, but I know it like takes a lot, but obviously he owns like is it like a baseball? He owns it like a team in Brooklyn somewhere. I don't even know what team it is. Um, but I know like
He's got a percentage of in the consortium. Like he's one of them ones.
I don't know, but I know he owns a team in Brooklyn somewhere. I don't know what sport it is, but I know
Right.
it's a team that he owns. But I can actually see him owning a team. Like, I just don't see him doing it. I don't see him coaching. I don't see him
Mm.
doing anything else but owning, just sitting back and, being in the background. That's his type of, stance
Yeah,
I see him. doing.
I get that, but I also see him as a person that loves the process so much of practicing and loves basketball that it's a case of I don't think he'd be a a head coach,
No.
but he's the type of person that would be a coach on the floor that could go to practice every day and carry on doing those sort of things. You get what I mean? I would
Yeah.
I would I can see him in that role, even though he doesn't need to do it. I can see him in a role where he's still around the game of basketball, where he can actually just play the game. He can do everything but play the game.
Mm.
I feel like that's the type of role I could see him in, just because he loves it so much. Or he'd go and coach kids because you can have the process. That he loves the process so much that he'd go and do that sort of stuff.
I heard like some players don't like watching kids like basketball because
It's not
it's
real.
kind of like it's not real. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel them. I feel them on that sort of stuff. It does make sense, but like even like Kobe was obsessed. Like the last person we kind of seen that was obsessed as KD as Kobe, and we saw his transition.
Mm.
It's either you put this mentality into something else, which is very possible. We saw Kobe do that, win all those awards in movies and that's for production and movies and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff before he passed away. But then he also had his energy into his kids. KD doesn't have
Yeah. And
kids.
yeah.
That's where the problem is like, bro, you start having kids soon because then you can put your energy into them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I feel
he just needs somewhere else to put his energy, I feel like.
yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. But my other notes that I've got about KD is in the Serbian game how KD were cooking them,
The
like
first one.
seriously
The
cooking
first
them.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then them screaming in the locker room, like how
If you
sick
see
is
Bam
that?
Adebayo leave him and go and guard Kevin Durant, yeah, that was one of the best seats. One of the
Mm,
best seat that you know what, the Serbia team, I gotta big them up. They made a lot of this documentary. They they
mm,
they were a massive part
literally.
of it.
I mean, I've got a quote here where I can't remember who was saying it, but obviously they were talking about Kevin Durant, and there was like, no other player is your concern. He is your concern, meaning
Yes.
KD is
Hmm.
your concern. Um, but yeah, even when there's like a clip of Joker like saying, "Where's the beer?" Like,
Mm.
yeah, yeah, the locker room conversations were interesting. France as well, you
Mm.
know, really, really good. I wish we got to kind of see the US locker interaction
Yeah.
and see
We're
what they
missing
were
that.
talking about.
Yeah, we were missing that sort of stuff. We were inside Canada's locker room a lot. I felt like we were in
Yeah,
Canada's locker room a lot throughout the whole
yeah,
kind of thing, which was interesting because you know they've got Shy and they've got big characters. I'd say like Dylan Brooks that wanna be out there and they talk a lot and you know they talk and back it up and then they've obviously got the Brooklyn Nets head coach that was
Canadian.
the
Yeah.
Canadian head coach. Obviously, he resigned from that job just recently, actually. Literally, like
Mm.
10. What's the date
But
today?
just
20.
going back to Dylan Brooks, obviously we see Dylan Brooks on the court being a bully.
Mm.
But then seeing this kind of like softer side was very interesting to see. I don't
Yeah.
know what you thought of it, but I did not expect him to like even I don't even think I've ever heard him talk. But this was the
Mm.
first time me hearing him talk and I was like, is this guy that bullies everyone on the cart? Like, who is this guy?
You have to,
It was
but
funny.
that's the thing though. Like that's why I love documentaries and love the perspectives they show
Mm,
you on people because you always have one perspective of someone. Even though look, I play sports, so I know someone's perspective demeanor on the field or on the court is not who they are in real life. It's just who they have to be for those 48 minutes, those 90 minutes. Like that's what they
yeah.
have to be.
Mm,
And it's you can see those sort of things like you can see there's a real side to everyone, you can see there's the nasty side to them,
mm,
their game mode face and their home face, you get what I mean? They're not going to be the
mm.
same way around their kids that they're around these
Oh
adults on
yeah.
the basketball court, but you know the documentary shows you that sort of thing where
Mm,
people put stuff into perspective like oh he's that and he's only that, and you can kind of what sports does, which is interesting. What documentaries do, which is interesting, is they portray someone as one thing, and
mm,
everyone then thinks they're that one thing. So when
mhm.
people meet you, oh, I didn't think you'd be like this in person. Why?
Yeah.
Because you saw me on the basketball court.
Yeah.
That's me. That's me being competitive for 48
Yeah.
minutes. Like
Mm,
nothing else.
yeah.
So yeah, it humanized a lot of players. I love seeing the Evan Fournier. I love
Yeah.
seeing Evan Fournier. Just the way the French team were.
KD, every time he plays him, he's like, "You're too small. You're too
Mm,
small."
yeah, but I love seeing like the inside of what happened with the French team
Mm,
because you know the head coach was saying one thing, Evan Fournier was saying another thing, and it was like they went to bat on it, but they've made up about it, and then Evan Fournier was the reason they kind of won the game against Germany. I want to say it was
mm,
Germany.
hmm.
Yeah, he was the one that was making and taking the big shots, making the big shots to get them over the line. Um, and obviously, Batum was a massive part of the documentary,
Absolutely. So vocal in the locker room.
which is interesting because players in the NBA that go under the radar that are probably the
Mm,
leaders in the NBA locker rooms that we just wouldn't know because you're thinking, oh, well, they got a superstar, so he must be the leader.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's not the case because even Bogdanovich, he's the team captain, not Jokic.
Yeah.
So it's not the best player that's the team captain. It's sometimes the best leader, and we don't know who the best leader is until we figure it out or until we see it.
Yeah, we see it. Yeah.
So that was interesting. That was interesting. I don't know if Germany didn't get enough play or enough screen time for my liking because they
Mm,
are actually one of the best teams in the world. They didn't end up meddling, so that
yeah. They
maybe
are
was a
really
reason
good.
why. But
Really good.
Germany might be the ones that are really, really contesting because they've got a real good core and everyone's been playing together. And Franz Wagner and Dennis
Hmm.
Schroeder, and you got a plethora of NBA players in there that are ready to
Yeah.
kind of
I tell
take
you,
off.
the international teams are coming for, I
Mm,
don't know who's gonna be for the next Olympic team or what they're gonna do, but I do feel like they need to do tryouts because I don't think they did tryouts for this Olympic team. But then it makes me think, then why did you actually pick Jason Tatum? Do you know what I mean?
because they did. I wanted to just. That's funny you said Jason Tatum because I was going to get back to him right away. But they did. So there was only three guarantees for this Olympic team:
Mm.
Steph, LeBron, KD. That was it. Those are the
Oh
only
yeah,
three
yeah, yeah.
guarantees. And everyone else was a case of like they're picking you on how you perform in the season or those sort of things or however they picked you. But it was a case of how do you pick a team of superstars, and it was just a case of budding old with young superstars, the next coming up ones, the veterans, we know who they were, and then the kind of players that will happily play the role but are still superstars, the Tyrese Halliburtons of the world. Don't play much, but hey, when you get in the game, do your thing. That's why I think that Jaden Brown didn't get called up. Like seeing that documentary, I now understand more why Jaden Brown wouldn't have worked there.
He wouldn't have worked at all.
And with the Jason Tatum minutes, yeah, it's interesting because uh, he plays the same position as LeBron and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So, what did you want Steve Kerr to do? Because Kevin Durant did not start the first game
Nope.
or the second game, I don't think.
Bench. Yep.
Yeah. So, what did you want him to do? You want him to take KD and LeBron out the game and play Jason Tatum? Like,
Yeah.
this is the thing.
Plus, we need to win. They need to win. And I'm not saying like Jason. I'm not being disrespectful in terms of me saying that Jason Tatum won't go out there and score, but I just don't see that in him in the Olympics when it's down to the line, like to
Mm,
for him to shoot the ball. Like I just don't see that in him. I see it for KD, I see it for Steph, and I see it for LeBron, and those are the
mhm.
guys that need to be out there. And Bam and Embiid, it worked. The chemistry and of those five players there, it worked very well and strongly against France and Jokic and them, in my opinion. And I just don't see, like you said, like Jason Tatum fitting.
He didn't want to play. You don't. He's not a man that's going to play the Devin Booker role because Devin Booker
Mm,
suppressed his superstar to play a role. I'm not going to get many shots, but when I get my shots, I'm going to make my shots,
mm,
and I'm going to do the dirty work. I'm going to defend. I'm going to give it to the better players, which is mad to say because you're probably one of the top 20 top 15 best players in the world. You get what I mean? But you're going to give it to better players, and then they're gonna do their thing. So that's
Mhm.
kind of what it was like. You saw Anthony Edwards at the point just dancing on the sideline.
Mm.
Jason Tatum weren't dancing on the sideline as much as I love him as a basketball player. Like
Mhm.
fit and chemistry for an Olympic team is all that matters, and it's
Yeah.
not. It's a 2 week tournament. You're just coming together. If stuff doesn't work, if you played a team that works in that period of time,
Mhm.
like Joel Embiid played, Bam Adebayo played, Anthony Davis played. But look at that. Those three like in a real in an ideal world, Anthony Davis is on the floor all the time as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
This is the thing. That man on the bench, chilling, celebrating. They understand what's going on.
Mm. Mm.
Like Drew Holiday should always be playing also defensive, but Steph Curry's there.
Yeah.
Like that's when I think like because he obviously made All NBA first team, everyone was sitting there saying, "Oh, he should be playing," but just because you made All NBA first team does not mean you're
I
better
mean,
than the players that are on the court,
mm-hmm. And
especially
we need
those
to
guys.
win gold.
This is the thing. This is the thing that is. If it was a 7 game series and you didn't play him, okay, it's not
Mm.
that. It's an NCAA tournament. That's what it is. 1 game, you need to win every game. Knockouts.
Absolutely.
It don't matter how you do it, you do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my take on the Jason Tatum minutes. But we haven't spoken about the main man, the two main men. We spoke about a lot about KD, LeBron and Steph, LeBron and Steph Curry,
Mm. What about LeBron
because
and Steph?
LeBron proved how big a leader he was in the situation, how kind of he takes over situations when they need to be taken over.
That's his personality, though.
Yes, it is. It is. But he proved it on the world stage. And
Mm.
him playing with Steph Curry, I said it when I was watching it, but it's like I rewatched everything the other day. It's like it was new to me again. It's a
Mm.
pleasure to see. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that if it happened in the NBA, everyone would be buzzing because the discourse between the two fan bases of each player is crazy. Who's better? Da, 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 you get what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I love seeing those two work together and kind of take over with KD, but those two in particular take over when it mattered most, especially
Yeah.
like in the Serbia game as Steph wasn't having a good tournament at all. Steph
Yeah.
he keeps him in the game, and then to finish, LeBron and KD finish the game,
Yeah.
and then in the final game against France, we all know what happened. Steph
Yeah.
Curry happened. Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like seeing that sort of stuff and hearing Steph say, and this is why this is why it's inspiring because Steph was saying stuff like, "That shot I took, I work on it. That's the
Mm.
difference. That is the difference between me and a lot of other people. A case of like it looks crazy, but he
Mm-hmm.
literally said, as I took the 2 steps back, he said, I've worked on that shot 1,000 times. So
Yeah.
it might look crazy to everyone, but to me, he said, if it releases right, it's probably going in."
Sick. He's a sick guy.
Yeah, so those guys, man, the whole documentary wasn't inspiring, but I feel like there was Booker. Obviously, I feel like should have got more love.
Mm.
Andy Edwards, obviously, he showed us his confidence, the way he spoke to Obama. I
Like
loved
he was
every
a
minute of
bully.
that.
Did
Yeah,
you?
I did. Do you know why? Because you know the people that are just themselves everywhere.
Yeah.
I know there's a time and a place, but you know if you're yourself everywhere, if you're yourself everywhere, no one can say anything. So
Yeah.
he's himself
True.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So
True.
he
True. True.
like if you're yourself around the president, then chat. No one ain't gonna say nothing to you.
Mm. Mm.
And you can see he's young, charismatic, and like LeBron. And when he called, as you said, when LeBron and KD got called over, they're probably thinking, what has he said to the Obama? What is going on?
Yeah. Their faces said it all.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Embiid was a big part to play as much as like he kind of got looked over, but he was a big part to play
Yeah. It
in the
was.
team
Yeah.
success. So yeah, no,
He
it
was
was a real
very. He was very useful compared to being useful on his, you know, Philly
NBA
team.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he got what he got. He did what he needed to do, and
Mm.
he was very key in kind of like in terms of what was the game? It was a Serbia game and a France game. Both of them, he was actually
But,
very key down the stretch. Like a lot of people
yeah, he
don't
was.
realize because you're focused on the main big three, but
Hmm.
when you like decipher it, he was a massive part of the win
Yeah.
and the tournament in
Bam as
general.
well. Bam as
Yeah,
well.
like yeah, yeah. No, it was. If what are your three? Okay, what are your three biggest takeaways from the documentary? Your three biggest ones.
So for me, Wemby will be, or in the future will be, the face of the league.
Mm,
Um, that's what I took. The first thing I took away. Um, and then just seeing, like, we will never see KD, LeBron, and Steph be on a team like this ever again.
yeah.
Ever again. Like, this will not happen ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one will be, I probably think I just have to say KD, just being a four-time Olympian and like leading scorer,
Yeah.
all-time leading scorer, like, which is sick. I
Yeah.
think those are my three takeaways from the documentary. And obviously, the documentary just being so impactful on, fans like us that, that watch the game and appreciate the game, and just seeing the players' perspective of how they feel about the game rather than watching, you know, Stephen A or Perkin
Yeah.
talking rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
These are the type of things I want to like watch and,
Yeah.
take away, rather than just social media and people just talking garbage, you
Mm.
know. But yeah, that's what I took away from the documentary. And I love documentaries like this. Like Starting Five was amazing, and I
Mm-hmm.
hope that they do. Obviously, they are doing another Starting Five, but like I hope there's another like doc that will. I don't know. Obviously, it was about the Olympics, but more documentaries about basketball. I think we need a lot more of that.
There,
Personally.
do you know what? There is a few good ones that are old. If you haven't watched them, like there's Fab Five that followed the Michigan Wolverines when if you've seen that one, it's an
Mhm.
ESPN 30 for 30 documentary when Jalen Rose was there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, so there were a few good ones that, but they're obviously not like this that are following a team throughout a period of time. But I guess the NBA season is probably too long.
Too long of a season to be doing it. Yeah.
It isn't though, because starting five does do that. But if
Yeah.
you like, we live in a world where it's here and now, so everyone kind of wants stuff
Like now.
ASAP-ish. Yeah,
Mm,
so you kind of want a week to week basis kind of one, which is down to the team doing it.
mm,
Like it happens a lot in the NFL, to be fair. So a lot of NFL
mm,
teams, the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens in particular, have like a wired series where each week in the NFL they document the whole week, and then on the Monday after the game, win or lose, they bring out the episode that's happened in the week. It's like
mm.
a 45, 50-minute episode, which is good. And I agree with you solely on that they feel like they need to do more kind of documentaries covering basketball, because if they want to get on their viewership back, you need to do stuff like
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah, they do.
Because if they look at what's driven a lot of views in sports recently, it has been the sports documentaries. The Drive to Survive, for instance, has kind of put F1 more on the map than it was on the map before. We see the quarterback series, we see the receiver series on Netflix putting the NFL more on the map. Or, well, the NFL's always had it with Hard Knocks and
Mm,
those things like that. And it's put more on the map. And then you have the All or Nothing series with football, that covers Premier League teams, it covers Serie A teams, and covers national teams.
mm-hmm.
So they do that in that perspective. So the NBA hasn't really had anything that covers the behind the scenes. We had The Last Dance, which was special and it's probably
Mm,
going down as
yep,
one of the best sports documentaries. Came out at the perfect time.
yep,
But when it comes to week to week or month to month, or just knowing what's going on inside your respective teams or inside the NBA, it's
mm-hmm.
quiet to us.
Yeah,
So something like this, where we can see the perspective of players and fans and just the nation and reactions,
mm-hmm.
works a lot better than us sitting down and watching the first takes of the world and watching the first things first. As much as they're good on a day to day basis, this doesn't give you the athlete's perspective.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's just all, and sometimes I feel it's all negative as well. You
Yeah,
know, yeah. And I just feel sometimes it's not good for the game either, because it's just they talk about the players, and and it's like, is it true? Is it not true? And it's like, well, what can you believe at this point? And then obviously you go on Twitter, and people are talking on there and stuff like that. But yeah, more docs, man. We need to see more documentaries about this, about the game, like, for people that love the game like how we do. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's coming. It's coming. Hopefully, the NBA see this and understand how big of an impact it's made on a lot of people.
Do you
And
know what
then
I want to see? Like a
what's that?
documentary of Kobe.
Yes, like a Last Dance kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think it will. I think it will come out. I don't. I just feel like there's a time. I don't know when,
yeah.
but I feel like it will come out and it'll be special. But think about it. Last Dance came out what during COVID. Yeah, Michael Jordan
Mm,
retired how many years ago? So
yeah,
we shouldn't be expecting this Kobe documentary for another 20 years.
yeah.
If we're being frank, because
Mm,
you have to get what 20 plus years of footage and
I know. But I just, when you listen players and they have so many Kobe stories, it's
mm,
like, I like hearing these stories about players, like how they were, like how they interacted on teams, and how they spoke to
mm.
people and stuff like that. Like, I want to hear all them stories, me. Like,
Yeah, you just want to hear
yeah.
them in one space instead of going to find them
Mm,
everywhere.
yeah.
But do you know what? Do you know what? Find them everywhere is not bad because it then opens up the industry like this, the podcast industry, which I'm in, which you're now in, basically with us. Um, so it allows everyone to have their voice, which puts it in a good stead. So you have to go and look for things, and if you want to go
Mm,
and find it, someone's always going to have a different story or a different perspective on the story, which
mhm.
is which is interesting, which keeps you kind of
Yeah.
looking. And if you put it all in one place, it goes, okay, cool, I've watched it, don't want to watch anything else again. So I still think it is good to have these spaces, and then you have one big documentary after
Mhm.
like 25 years, and then everyone reacts to that and then goes back to telling their stories again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it is a good perspective. But my main takeaways from the actual documentary were that the world is catching up, and 2028 is going to be very, very interesting in LA as well. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know who's still going to be around to play. Out of the
Well, LeBron did say he's coaching. Did you hear that last part?
I heard him say he's coaching, but
And
I
Steph too. And Steph too.
yeah, well, I heard them all say it, but their wives might have something to say. They've been spending way too
Mhm.
many summers away from their wives at this point. Their wives and family might say, "Look, it's time, it's
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
bring it
yeah.
home."
Mm,
Um, yeah, like main takeaways were literally that the world is catching up, and if not have caught up, 2028 is going to be very interesting. The Kevin Durant, definitely huge part of basketball,
mhm.
and his love for sports and how inspiring he was. And third and final thing, there was a lot of unsung heroes in the team, and the NBA is in very, very much trouble if they don't fix the issue of
Mm,
what they're going to do when Steph, LeBron, and KD leave.
yeah, yeah.
And we need to find our new face of the league fast.
ASAP.
Yeah.
But did you, going back to being the face of the league though, did you see that interview with Anthony Edwards, when he was saying that he does not want to be the face of the league? Like, he
Yes.
said that Wemby should be the face of the league. And I agree that Wemby should be the face of the league, in my opinion. But a lot of people don't want international players being the face of the league because they think that the NBA is an American
That's Americans.
sport.
Yes, I understand it from that perspective. I feel like a Euro player will be the face of the league, but
Regardless.
because if not, then it's going to be a Canadian because Shay's there. He's not. He's
Mm,
not. This is the thing. So, like, someone that's not American is going to be the face of the league unless one of these players step up and win. Well, Jason Tatum's won a championship, but no one sees him as a face of the league.
no.
Anthony Edwards has the charisma. If he wanted to take the reins, he would be the one I would put there.
Yeah. But what does a face, my question to you is like, what does a face of the league look like to you on and off the court.
See, this is a problem. Off the court, Annie Edwards has screwed it up already.
Because basically, LeBron and Steph on and off the court, it's
Perfect. It's
perfect.
perfect. It's family men. One
Mm,
woman, wife, married,
mm,
kids. Everything is structured and perfect. See, the face of the league to me is going to be different to what the face of the NBA has been for the past 30 plus years. Because
yeah,
if you actually think about it, Michael Jordan was the same. Married, kids. Do you get what I mean? Had
yeah.
gambling issues, but hey, he was married, kids, face of the league.
Hmm. Hmm.
Before that, Magic Johnson was a bit off the rails, but hey, that was that time. That time was allowed to be like that.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
face of the league to me, it's like charisma. It's the love to play the game. It's someone you enjoy literally watching, talking to. They have everything, all the intangibles. They have the shoe. They have the face. They have the game to match everything. They have the talk. Like Anthony Edwards fits all of these things, but then
yeah,
you also have to go off the court in your family life, brother. You got I don't know how many women's kids right now. Like we don't even know what's going on. That's the thing. Do you
yeah.
get what I mean?
Mm.
So that's why it's so difficult. And Jokic doesn't want to be it because he'd
Mm.
be perfect if he wanted to. Like if he wanted to do the talking side of things, because his game is a face of the league game. A lot of people have
But
face of the league game.
he's 30 years old, isn't he? He's 30.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
he
it's the
is.
time limit,
Uh,
on the face of the league. He done past he's primed to be the face of the league. It's either Luca, even Giannis. Giannis is 30 now. So the
yeah,
names are Ant, Wemby, Jason Tatum, Shy, and someone else. Did I say Luca? I said
yeah.
Luca.
You said
Luca
Luca.
Wemby. Yeah, them four that I can think of. Them at under 25.
Ja.
Yeah. Is Jason Tatum 26? He
What'd you say,
might
Ja
be.
Morant? Ja Morant.
Ja, ja.
The
But
only problem
obviously
is,
off the court issues with all the, the whatever issues he
this,
had.
this,
Because remember, at one point, Zion was going to be the face of the league. And look how that turned out.
a lot of people got face of the league game, but they don't have the and they don't have the face of the league personality, or they just don't have the right mindset to be that.
Mm.
But then
Pressure.
again, but Kobe Bryant was a face of the league, and he had his madness. So there's always a way to turn it around.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. He did
So
have his madness, but yeah, he did turn it around. That's
so
true.
like we can't look at the players that have done the madness because they're young, because
Mm.
and then think they're not going to be something different for the next 15 years of their career. So if those ones that we're saying, they have a chance because they all have everything that works to be the face of the league. It's just if they want to now change their lives and move that way. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's an
No,
interesting,
honestly.
it's an interesting one. Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see who's the face of the league in the next couple of years, but yeah, we'll see. Watch the space, guys. Watch the space.
Yes. Well, as always, Tasha, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure talking to you and joining me in this conversation. In fact, this week we should probably make this your show. If you have a space every
I
week,
know.
we should probably make.
I just might as well just come on here and just start talking to you lot and just, telling you my everyday thoughts about basketball, just to
Yeah,
get it all out
we are coming to you from our new show because I'm going to name it now, Tash's Corner.
there. I like that. I like that. I like that.
So she will be doing the outros from now on, not me. But
Ah,
yeah, as I said, like and subscribe, tune in. We'll be doing a lot of different things and just trying to get more content out, more everything for you guys. So yes, tune in to this, tune in to everything else we got going on because it's a big year coming up. So as I said, Jacob, I'm signing out.
Tash signing out.